The planet of Kalthor wasn't known for mercy. Its jagged terrain stretched like broken teeth across the horizon, and its skies glowed with a sickly green haze. I had been sent here as part of a human reconnaissance team, tasked with observing the alien societies that dominated the sector. I thought I was prepared for danger. I wasn't. When the emergency alarm rang through our dropship, I was already running toward the chaos. A squad of heavily armored alien soldiers had cornered one of my fellow scouts in the rocky canyons. I didn't think, I acted. Bare feet slipping on jagged stone, I lunged into the fray. My hands were empty. My weapons had been left behind when the ship was damaged in the landing. I thought I'd die in seconds. Instead, something extraordinary happened. I struck the first alien in the jaw, the sound of breaking cartilage louder than the distant winds. He staggered back in shock. The others froze, not expecting a human to fight with such ferocity. Every punch, every kick, every dodge was instinct, a rhythm born of desperation and adrenaline. From atop the ridge, I noticed her. The alien queen. She didn't wear armor like her warriors. Instead, her presence radiated authority and power in a way I could feel even from that distance. Her eyes, luminescent and piercing, followed my every movement. And then I realized they weren't just observing. They were studying me. I ducked beneath a sweeping strike, countered with a swift uppercut, and felt the alien stagger. The canyon echoed with the sounds of my bare-hand combat. It was primitive, brutal, and unrefined, but it worked. And the alien queen didn't blink. I wasn't sure how long I had been fighting when I noticed the warriors around her shift uneasily. Even they were stunned, some stepping back, weapons lowering, not daring to intervene. That's when fear hit me. Not for me, no, I was too consumed by the fight, but for what this could mean. The alien queen's warriors were elite. They were trained to obliterate intruders instantly. And yet, I was still standing. Bare hands, bare resolve. One warrior, taller than the rest, lunged at me with a spiked gauntlet. I dodged, slipped under his strike, and grabbed his arm. Using his momentum, I threw him across the rocky ground. He didn't get up immediately. That's when I felt it. A shift in the energy of the scene. The other warriors hesitated. Their queen remained still, her gaze fixed on me, her expression unreadable. A flash of understanding hit me. This wasn't just a fight. This was a test. I adjusted my stance, feeling the jagged stones beneath my feet. I knew I couldn't sustain a long battle against dozens of elite warriors, but perhaps I didn't need to. Maybe all it would take was showing that I refused to back down, that I could face the impossible without fear. Then she stepped down from her ridge. The alien queen descended, her movement fluid and deliberate, radiating authority without aggression. Her warriors parted instinctively, creating a space between us. I felt my heart hammer in my chest. This was madness. I was alone, unarmed, facing an alien ruler who could crush me without a thought. I expected resistance, she said. Her voice resonated in my mind, not just heard by ears. It was strange, almost hypnotic. But not like this. Not like you. I swallowed, my mouth dry. I don't know what you mean. She tilted her head, studying me. You fight like one of my warriors. But you bleed like a human. Yet you do not falter. Tell me, human, what drives you to stand against impossible odds? I hesitated. Words felt meaningless here, yet silence seemed dangerous. Survival and duty, I said, unsure if they conveyed the truth. The queen's eyes narrowed slightly, and then a faint, almost imperceptible smile crossed her face. Her warriors tensed. Something was changing. You have spirit, she said. And courage. Two traits rarely found together in your kind. I didn't know how to respond. I was still in combat mode, ready for an attack at any second. But she did nothing. She simply watched. Suddenly, one of her warriors, younger and less experienced, tried to regain control of the situation. He raised his weapon to strike. I moved before thinking, my body reacting faster than my mind, and caught the gauntlet mid-air. With a sharp twist and a grunt, I disarmed him, sending him sprawling to the ground. The canyon fell silent. Even the Queen's warriors were frozen, watching this display of audacity. I felt a strange mix of fear and exhilaration. I had done the impossible. I had stood my ground alone against them all. The Queen approached, her eyes locking onto mine. "I have seen many humans," she said. "None like you. Most flee, most beg, most die quietly. But you confront the impossible without hesitation." I swallowed hard. My fists were still clenched, my body tense. I don't know what else I could do. She laughed softly, a sound like wind chimes in a storm. "Perhaps. Or perhaps you simply understand that fear does not mean submission. Strength is not always measured by weapons." Then she did something unexpected. She extended her hand. Not in attack, not in challenge, but in acknowledgment. "You have passed the trial, human. The eyes of my warriors have seen. The silence you have earned is not shame, it is respect." I exhaled slowly, lowering my fists. My body ached from the fight, every muscle screaming. But in that moment, the exhaustion didn't matter. I had survived. I had impressed an alien queen, and I had done it with nothing but my bare hands and resolve. Her warriors, once tense and ready to strike, began nodding subtly. The tension in the canyon dissipated. Respect, fear, admiration, all mingled in their gazes. The Queen stepped closer. "Your courage will not go unnoticed. I am curious, human. Will you continue to defy the impossible, or will you kneel before fate?" Thought about it. About the battles I had fought, the dangers I had faced, and the life I still wanted to live. "I fight because I must," I said. "Not for glory, not for power, but because I refuse to let fear decide my actions." A shadow of a smile crossed her face. "Then perhaps we are not so different, you and I. You fight with honor, even without the armor of my warriors. You stand alone, and yet you command attention. That is rare." She stepped back, motioning her warriors to follow. "Remember this day, human. Remember that silence does not always mean defeat. Sometimes it is the most profound acknowledgment of strength." I watched as she and her entourage departed, leaving me alone in the canyon. My chest heaved, my hands still tingling from the fight. But more than that, I felt something shift inside me. Something I had not expected. I had survived the impossible. I had stood against the elite, unarmed, and earned the respect of an alien queen. And in that moment I realized that strength was not just in fists or weapons. It was in will, courage, and the refusal to be broken. The canyon fell silent once more. But this time it was a silence of reverence, not of fear. And I knew, without a doubt, that I would never be the same again.